This podcast is not intended as a substitute for the medical advice of physicians. The listener should regularly consult a physician in matters relating to their health, and particularly with respect to any symptoms that may require diagnosis or medical attention. Thank you and enjoy listening.
Hello, my gorgeous. We have Agnes here today on Difficult Conversations About Beauty. I am absolutely delighted to have this total babe on my show. I can't tell you the feelings that I felt. That sounds wild. When I actually first met Agnes for the first time, it was kind of like I met her on a little WhatsApp group, Inside Aesthetic WhatsApp group, and I completely got her mixed up with someone else. And then I met you in person and I was like, you are my girl. So Agnes, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where your clinic is.
Thank you very much, Anita. My name is Agnes Dube. People often struggle with pronouncing my name. It's Dube. It's easy. I am originally from Zimbabwe and I've been in Australia for about 18 years now. And I live in a small town called Maryborough. It's in Queensland near Hervey Bay. So often people miss it because when you say Maryborough, they go, where's that? And you go, oh, have you been to Hervey Bay? They're like, well, yeah, I go to Hervey Bay all the time.
Yeah.
And you go, but you got to drive through Maryborough to get to Hervey Bay. They're like, oh, that town. So that's where I am.
I don't know why. Hang on a second. I don't know why I thought you were in the Gold Coast.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're that way. You're not that way from me. Wow. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so you're in Maryborough. I know Maryborough. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, so I do have a small home clinic, and often people, when they hear home clinic, they're thinking, oh, we're going to walk through her house to go to the back room. No, it's totally separate. You got a separate entrance, separate everything. I actually love it. One of these days, I might do a little bit of a walkthrough so people can see what my home clinic looks like. It's in a nice, quiet side of town. So because Maryborough is such a small town and everyone knows everyone, people often actually like coming to see me because they're like, people don't know where I'm going because it's not obvious that I'm going to get treatments.
Yeah. They're not walking down the high street and then, visibly turning into a clinic.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so my clinic has been open we had a 1-year birthday a couple of weeks ago. So that is a milestone.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
So that's a little bit about myself. Yeah, I live in Maryborough. I'm a single mum with 2 kids. As I was saying to you this morning, I'm running around doing school run. My oldest is doing Eastford. The other one, I had to drop her off at school. But they're beautiful kids. We make it work, They learn to work with me is in like, okay, when I wake up in the morning, half the stuff's been done because they know it's only mum who's going to do things with us. So then it makes my life a lot easier. But yeah, they're beautiful kids, and they're the reason I do what I do, because I need to be able to provide for them.
I think that was one of the things that I absolutely loved about you in first meeting you, Agnes, was your strength and resilience and your basic idea that, you know what, if I don't do it, no one's going to do it.
Yeah.
The buck falls, the buck stops with me. Everything stops with me. And I really want to kind of tap into that because I know you're about to head off to Aesthetics 23 down in Sydney, which will be amazing. But I just think that what you've achieved in your life has been incredible. And I want to ask you how you got to be in aesthetics in the first place and what made you decide to go into it and open your own clinic.
So growing up, I've always been a child who loves fashion. Funny enough, though, I was actually a tomboy up until I was about 19. So you will see me in baggy jeans, baggy t-shirts, sneakers. Like, I was that kid. It was easy to dress that way. But I've always admired fashion, and I loved, when we talk about art, like people in the aesthetics industry, they're artistic. I can draw, yes, I can doodle or whatever, but the way I look at art for me is in fashion. Like I can look at an outfit, or I can look at a few pieces of clothing and I can be like, I can put that together and it will work. That's how I look at things. So got an attention to detail when it comes to how people dress and how people look. And I've always loved makeup. I don't put on a lot of makeup myself, but I can look at a person and be like, yeah, that looks like crap, or oh, that looks really good, or try and pick somebody to suit their makeup as well. So how I got into doing aesthetics was after becoming a single mum. I couldn't continue doing shift work, and most hospitals, they actually require you to be doing all 3 shifts, morning, afternoon, night shift. So it was becoming a little bit difficult for me to be doing shift work and having 2 little kids, because back then my children were 4 and 2. And I had looked into aesthetics before then, but I couldn't afford it. I could not afford. I did not want to be having a debt on top of all my other debts, just to go and study to do aesthetics. So I remember one day sitting, and then I saw a pop-up of a laser clinics advertising for a nurse. And I just sat there and I went, you know what? I'm just going to go on a whim and just, I actually called them. Like, I didn't even start by applying. I picked up the phone and I said, hi, I saw your ad. I'm a quick learner. Like, all you got to do is just show me how to do things, and I'm getting in there. And they were like, oh yeah, you will have to apply through Seek. And I was like, okay. And I went and did my application. But by then, I sort of felt like, oh yeah, right. There's no way I'm going to make this. So I applied, and the next thing, they wanted an interview, and then I got in and I was shocked. And so I went through my training, which is amazing. And that was before COVID. So I was very lucky, because I was not one of those people that actually managed to do like full on boot camp, hands on and everything. It wasn't like, oh, sorry, we can't, you learn through just watching on Zooms and stuff like that. I was very lucky. I had a lot of hands on. But what's made me the person, like, I feel like I'm different from some people that would just go and do the basics and then just stick to the basics. I'm always hungry for more. So I was constantly on the phone asking my trainers, can you come up? Like, I would have trainers coming in almost every month. But we've done cheeks last month. I'm like, yeah, but I need you to come, because I need to make sure that I'm actually doing it right. And I need to make sure that I'm treating, perfectly well. So I was always wanting to grow as an aesthetic nurse. So I worked in the chain clinic for nearly 4 years, but after a while I felt like I probably outgrew that, because then I was seeing how big the world was out there. But then it was like, and I think how sometimes people say, oh, I get bored from doing the same thing over and over and over again. You feel like, okay, there's more to it than just what I have right here. And I actually didn't realize that it was a big wide world out there. I put in my resignation. And the other reason was my mother's health. My mom's a diabetic. She's got diabetic retinopathy. So, and she's also got smoldering myeloma. So her health is not always the best, even though she helps me with my kids. So I had to choose between family and work. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to quit. If I have to work in the hospital or work in a nursing home, because sometimes working in nursing homes, even as an RN, you can choose what hours you wanted to work.
Yes, that's right.
I'm happy to work at the nursing home down the road and be able to look after mum and the kids. And then my mum said to me, well, you've always been saying maybe one day I'll have my own space. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she goes, well, because I was also looking into buying a house. So I'm that person who doesn't do things in small. I don't you met me. I don't go small.
Really?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't like.
That's what I love about you. That's what I love. 100%. And something I've written, actually, just while you've been talking about that, something I've written down about you that I think I'm most loving and attracted to about you is your curiosity. So you have something, you get an idea, and then you go, hang on a second, I really need to explore that. And you explore it, but you don't just kind of go, oh yeah, yep, I've done A, B, C, and D. That's it. I'll just stay here. It's like, no, hang on a minute. There's something here, and there's something more here, and there's something more here. And that comes out. That's so authentically you. And that comes out in every single thing you do, in your personality, in your socials, in you in real life, but also in your fashion and everything as well. So how long ago? So it was a year ago that you opened your own clinic?
Yes, a year ago. So a year ago, I managed to get a mortgage for my house.
Good girl.
The house came with a studio. And here's the best part. The house is right next door to my mom.
Oh, wow. I've got goosebumps. I've actually got goosebumps, and I promise you it's not because it's cold, because we're in Brisbane and it doesn't get cold here. Oh, that is so beautiful. Wow, that is the universe saying, I will help you, Agnes. You put it out there. You said this is what you want, and let me help you deliver.
Let me help you. Exactly. So that day, I remember and because there was so much negativity towards me trying to get a house, I had been trying for such a long time, and being a single parent on a single income and self-employed, no bank looks at you. They're just going, you're a disaster waiting to happen, because where's your income coming from? So it was really hard. But then my mortgage broker was so good. He just worked hard and I got it. And I remember, because we've been living next door to these guys for over a decade. And I remember saying to them one day, can I just have a walk through your house? And they were like, oh, yeah. And I remember the men saying to me, do you think you'd be able to afford this, Agnes? I was like, oh, well, you never know. Like, I just want to have a look, even if I'm not able to afford this house, but it's going to give me that zeal to continue looking and to like want something of my own. So I walked through, and then I saw the studio, and I came home to Mum. I said, Mum, imagine that can be my clinic. Like, that can be my clinic. And she's like, well, what's stopping you? I said, well, I need to get the mortgage first, and then we can start from there. So I actually got, on the 30th of June, my contract for the mortgage got signed up. On the 1st of July, I put in my resignation.
Because you'd already started your next journey. You were on that ship and you were sailing.
Yep. And I drove to NSS that day without a job, a big debt on my head. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just putting it out into the universe.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to go for the ride. And so the other thing I did the day I got the keys was I got a chippy to come with his chainsaw, and he cut the fence, and we put a gate in the fence so the kids can run back and forth into the
mum.
house.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I think, do you know what I think? What's really important is that listeners understand that, and I did this in my podcast episode with Dean Kilby. We talked about the fact that, when you keep ideas just stuck in your head and you keep them in here, they do nothing but fester, and they don't actually ever get the air and the space to breathe. Whereas what you did was you put it out there, you made a few, you actually took the first step. And I think the first step obviously being, asking the neighbors, can I have a look through?
Yeah.
You had a look through, then you put all that out there. And then the next thing, one thing follows after another. And I think if we understand that, you haven't always been this kind of picture of Phoenix rising out of the ashes, you've had to overcome stuff in your life. And I think people sometimes look at people who who are successful, and they go, oh, they're lucky.
Yeah.
They got it easy. And I think in your case, and I know you're going to be talking to this at Aesthetics 23, I think it's kind of so important that we understand that we get thrown some really horrible curveballs in life.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes it's when you have that curveball thrown at you, are you going to catch it and throw it back? Or you're going to catch it and figure out what you're going to do with it? Or you're just going to fall over and go, I quit. I'm not going to do anything about it. So, I mean, my mom, I was raised, so when we came here, I was raised by a single mom as well. So my parents got divorced, and then mom decided to migrate to overseas. So obviously, so she was this, African woman with 4 kids on her own in a foreign country. So I get my strength from my mother. I always say to myself, if my mom could do it with 4 kids, then I can do it with the 2. 2 is half of what she had to deal with. So no matter how hard things are, no matter what situation you're in, you have to find that crack in that situation that can make you wriggle through it and see the light on the other end. So, I mean, we all sometimes go, oh, I give up, can't do it. And I've done it. There's times where I've gone, I can't do it. No, can't do it. And then you have to, either you have someone say to you, well, so you're just going to sit around there and do nothing, or you need to get up, or you yourself have to actually make that decision to say, something's got to stop. I've got to do this. So I've had a few curveballs. I've been through, a lot. Like, me being a single mom is not just by choice. I came from domestic violence, so I had to overcome that. But I didn't overcome it once. I actually went through it twice. It's something I'm going to talk about tomorrow as well. So it's like, you know, I didn't make it defining. I refuse to have that be the definition of who I am. Yes, I was a victim, but I'm still struggling. I still have insecurities, they might not show, because sometimes I can talk to people, I'm like, oh, I actually have insecurities. People are like, right, you? I'm like, actually, I do. But how I portray myself, like my insecurities, yes, they're there, but how do I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, even though I'm scared, like I've not slept, I don't want to lie to you. A23 has given me like,
I know, doll. I know, doll. You're not the only one. I'm getting messages left, right, and center from people going, what do I do? Do you know, so just for our listeners to let you know, Agnes is actually presenting at A23 tomorrow in Sydney. And it's one of the, I'm not going because I'm actually off to the Matildas quarterfinal on Saturday. And so I'm not going to Aesthetics 23 this year. But it's kind of like, people who are presenting, it's nerve-wracking. It's really nerve-wracking. And when you're presenting, like, I don't know how many delegates there are, but at NSS there was 1,000.
Yep.
So we had 1,000 that we were presenting to, and it's tough. And you imagine everything that can go wrong, that in your mind beforehand. You're up at nights, not sleeping, like you said. You're going through your presentation. But at the same time, I can guarantee that whatever you say up there, people want to hear. It doesn't matter the story, the beauty about what you're presenting tomorrow. And Agnes is talking about her, her background and her story in terms of domestic violence and where she's come from since that. What's your presentation called again?
It's called Overcoming Domestic Violence and Putting Everything I Have into My Aesthetic Clinic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's kind of like, it's a story, and people love other people's stories because they gain so much strength from them.
Yeah.
And they'll sit there and they'll watch you being the magnificent thing that you are, talking about what you've overcome, and that will just be the most incredible thing. You will be incredible regardless.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been nerve-wracking, but like, then like I do sometimes, like I'll wake up in the morning, I'm like, you know what? Just imagine everyone in front of you naked, and then
yes.
Yeah,
the old acting thing. So as an actor, we used to sit there, or as a TV presenter, we used to I never found that helped. Do you know what I find helped as a presenter and actor and so forth is giving nothing but love to the audience, and the audience loving you. So every time I look down a camera, so if I was doing a piece to camera or interviewing someone on camera, I'd be looking down the actual lens of the camera, and I'd just be going, whatever I was saying to the person or to the audience, I'd be there going, in my mind going, I love you so much. I love you so much, because with that, people can't help but feel love towards you. Like you're playing that over in your mind, and you're when I present, anytime I present, I'm thinking, I love you all so much.
And it shows, because then because you are manifesting that love, it actually shows in your demeanor and everything as well when you're talking, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's kind of like, rather than thinking they're naked, which, you might be going, oh no, I don't want to see that. I can't unsee it. You know what I mean? Think I love you all. And therefore, just this positiveness about it.
I'm going to take that with me.
Yeah, cool.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Funnily enough, just before we came onto this call, I did pull a card because I've got my unique beauty affirmation cards that I created.
Lovely. I love that. Do you know, it's funny. One of the things I've learned is you attract people with the same energy, like minds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 years ago, I started making my own affirmation cards. I would sit down and I would make my children have lunchbox notes that I created for them. And I took them to a local business to have them print them out. And this lady said that, she goes, this is a great idea. And I said, well, yes, there's so many of the notes outside, that you find online and everything. But what I am saying in these notes is what's coming from my heart, what's coming from my head. So when I write that note, the kids don't just think, oh, mum just got it off the internet. Mum actually thought about that and wrote that down. And obviously it's been printed and everything, but they have those in their lunches. So when I created those, I actually decided, oh, I wanted to do something for my own affirmations. And I created, like, I wrote down my notes and everything. I just never went ahead and had them printed.
Yeah.
But I love having affirmations because sometimes you just need that. You wake up, you look at it and you're like, actually, that I needed that today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find especially because I've got 52 of them, and they're meant to be, you know, you have one per week, but you also have what I call PRN ones.
Yes.
So you basically when needed. And I always like to pull a card before I interview a guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about that guest. I think about that guest and then I pull a card. And this is what I pulled for you. Can you see that? It says breathe.
Yeah.
I'll read it to you because I think given, you know, everything that's going on and lots of exciting things happening for you, but also for where you've come, I think this is really relevant to you. Okay, so breathe. One opposite is always born of the other, which becomes the cause of the first. Your breathing abides by this principle. How you breathe in informs how you breathe out. Let your in-breath be calm, steady, and full of love, and your out-breath will mirror this expression. From your breath, all things are born. If your breath is shallow and tense, so too will your mindset be. If your breath is deep and relaxed, your mindset will be its mirror. Breathe easy and with love today.
Oh my God.
How about that? That's amazing.
Send it to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. And you can actually look at that tomorrow just before you're about to go on stage. But it's kind of like, you know, it's about breathing it in. It's all fun. It's all joy. It's like, wow, what an experience, you know. It's really incredible. Now, I do want to touch a little bit on just your fashion and your impeccable style. Girlfriend, you are amazing. I think that at NSS, at all the conferences, you are the standout.
Oh, thank you.
How do you put your pieces together? And I encourage everyone to go to Agnes's socials. I'll actually put them in the show notes. But oh my gosh, the way you put things together, the way you dress, just can you tell us some hints and tips? In fact, I want you to be my personal stylist.
Oh, well, thank you. Now, when I mentioned insecurities, like I will point this out. I do actually I question my own, like not intelligence, but like even when I put together like my outfit, I will second guess it. But that's just an insecurity from my abuse. So just a small thing, like there were times where I would try and dress up to please my partner and, or, you know, look sexy or whatever. And it would be, oh, didn't have to do that. Or, oh, why would you even do that? It doesn't even look good on you. So things like that would then play in my head. So whenever I go and put an outfit together, I look in the mirror and those words play in my head. Doesn't look good on you. It doesn't. So then I'm constantly second guessing everything I put together. So I give credit to my sister-in-law. So one of my brothers, his wife, she's like, because I don't have sisters, I only have brothers. So she's my sister. And normally
Me too. I've only got brothers too.
I actually introduce her as my sister, and people go, but you don't look like. I'm like, she's my sister-in-law, but she's the only sister I've got. She's my sister. And she's amazing at fashion. She is amazing at makeup. She actually worked in Abu Dhabi for years, working at a makeup company. So fashion is her thing. So I know if I put together a piece, I'll take a photo and I'll send it to her and go, what do you think? She's always saying, you know already, you know it's good, you know it's like she's the one who affirms what I do. So there's my insecurity, in case people didn't realize. I actually do have an insecurity and it actually manifests in my fashion. So when I put together my pieces, I actually work on, so as soon as I knew, you know, NSS was coming, I bought my ticket. I started working on my outfits. I'm like, okay, so we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or whatever days that I'm there. So then I start planning on Thursday, I'll wear this outfit and I'll wear this on Friday and I'll wear this. So I will have my outfits picked out and I might change them around here and there and, question myself, but that's how I plan my outfits. So whether it's a party or wedding or, I'm going out to dinner, I don't just go into the wardrobe and go, oh yeah, today's going to be this one. I go in my head and plan it. Like it has to be something that I go through those steps of, is it going to look good? No, it's not. Is it going to look good? No, it's not. Because I still have that insecurity of, I don't think I look good in anything. So when you guys go, oh my God, that outfit is so good. Like you're also, you're giving me that confidence of, oh, that was a good choice. I love hearing people telling me that I look good. It's not because I have like a, I don't know, I love myself or any grandiose or anything like that. It actually gives me hope of, oh, okay, if they liked it, so the next outfit might actually be nicer or they might like it again. So then it makes me excited about my next outfit and the next outfit. So people commenting on how good I look it makes me excited. So, but I actually plan. So we've got A23. I've been planning for A23 since NSS. Because we've got the Fresh Clinic conference coming in less than 4 weeks as well. I've been planning 2 conferences outfits at the same time. So it's like, and it's funny because I've had a few fresh nurses in our chats going, what are you wearing to the gala? Because our theme for the gala has come out. And I'm going, I don't know. Like, I honestly do not know. And they're like, and one of them was like, Rupali, actually. She goes, Agnes, I thought you were going to go and have something made. I'm like, I honestly do not know what I'm doing. Let me just A23 for now.
Let me go. And I think that's good. Taking things in bite-sized chunks rather than not looking forward, like dealing with what you've got coming up first and then go to the next thing after that. I totally agree.
But yeah, so that's how I do. That's what I do in my head. I plan it. I know how many days I'm going to be there. So I'm not like many women that will have 3 outfits for the one day for the one event. Because I love to pack minimally. So I will literally have that one outfit for that one day. And if we're going to dinner that night, then if I have to go and change, then I have the outfit for dinner. That's it. And I'll have the outfit for the next day. So I'm not going to have maybe outfit. I don't pack outfits.
I'm the same. There's nothing worse because then you just worry that. It was quite funny at NSS because one of the dresses I packed that I was going to wear on day 2, because I'm the same. This is what I'm wearing day 1. Or it depends on what I'm presenting at the time. If I'm presenting something a little bit more somber, then I'll wear, clothing, that reflects that. If I'm presenting something that I'm trying to get my audience upbeat, then I'll, wear something reflective of that. But on day 1, I saw someone wearing what I was going to wear on day 2.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. It was so funny. And I went up to her and I said, oh my gosh, you look amazing. I said, you look so good. I said, I've got that dress and I was going to wear it tomorrow. I said, but I won't because you look so incredible in it. And she was completely different coloring to me. Everything was completely the opposite of me. And I just went, and then there was a few curveballs because one of the outfits that I got, and I put it in my socials, was they hadn't taken the tag off. And I was like, you're kidding, but I was going to wear that like cami with that jacket and those black pants. And then I was like, and everyone was like chiming in saying, well, just wear the cami anyway. But the tag was right on my hip.
Oh, it would be digging into your hip.
I know. And I was chairing sessions all that day. And I was like, no, I can't do that. So I wore something else and I was on stage and it was freezing up there on stage. But I didn't want to wear a jacket because it would ruin the outfit. The outfit. It wasn't planned with a jacket. It was like a meshy, silvery, glittery thing. You wouldn't see it. So what's the point? And then anyway, so it did go a little bit pear-shaped. But and I'm going to actually pop some of these in the show notes as well. Your outfits, especially your gala outfit. I mean, that was beautiful. Did you get that made?
I had that made in Africa. So the hat was shipped from South Africa. That's a traditional Zulu hat. The dress was made in Nigeria. So I had it from Nigeria. So I don't know, like, because even though they're different countries, I'm from Zimbabwe, our fashion, like we all have traditional clothings from each country.
Mm.
We have our own Zimbabwean traditional clothing as well. Some of it I'll probably be almost half naked. That's why I will not wear because my ancestors wore hides. So like,
Yes,
think
yes,
about it, I would not be probably would not be the most appropriate thing to wear at a gala.
yes.
But yeah, so I wanted to represent who I am because I am proud to be African. Like that's my pride. So I was just like, I sat there and I was like, what am I going to wear? And I thought, why not? Your heritage, your roots, your background,
Yeah,
that's what you're representing. And so I
beautiful.
wearing that outfit.
Oh my gosh. And it was absolutely stunning. And I think what one thing I'm really taking away from this is that you get, because fashion and color and style have always been, they're integral to you. I mean,
Yeah.
just looking at you, I mean, it doesn't matter what you do or what you say, you embody those notions.
Thank
And I
you.
think you really use fashion to build your confidence because you've had it doubted for you. You know, you've had in the past someone say, you look terrible in that. And so, of course, you think, therefore, that everything you put on, you're going to look terrible in. But now you've turned it around. Again, you've picked up that curveball and you've gone, instead of hiding, with it or throwing it back or whatever, you're going, actually, I'm going to throw it another way. I'm going to throw it into a different direction and actually use that to feed my joy and own it because you love it. I mean, the joy you get when I see you in your outfits and you put everything together so beautifully. So it's glasses, it's accessories, it's everything is so beautifully put together that, we can't help but see that lifts you up as a person as well. And it's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that. But in saying that though, that green dress on you when you were on stage.
Oh, thank you, my darling.
I see every time, like, the photos on NSS pops up, I'm like, there she is. There she is.
Oh, sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, I turned it around in the end. Of course, I had red hair then, which was funny. I'd had red hair for about 3 or 4 months by that stage.
Yeah.
And then and I was kind of getting to the point where I was going, because I'm a bit like with my hair, I change it constantly.
So have you seen me? I'm wearing one wig today and I'm wearing another wig tomorrow and I'm bald the next day. And people are like, did you just change your hairstyle?
I love that. I love that. That is so cool. Oh, sweet. Okay, so listen, I know you've got a head, you've got to go and watch your beautiful son, and then you've got what time? When are you flying today?
Yes, I'm flying from Harvey Bay, so my flight is around 1. So yeah,
okay.
I'll head up to Harvey Bay. At least it's a 30-minute drive, and we don't get traffic around here. I love it. It's not like Brisbane.
Oh, how magical. Listen, next time you're in Brisbane, I have no idea why I thought you were in the Gold Coast. But anyway, next time you're in Brisbane, let me know so we can catch up. Because when you
100%.
said, yeah, just wild. So, and you're like, hey, hang on, are you in Brisbane? I'm like, yeah, you're in the Gold Coast, aren't you? And you're like, no, I'm in Harvey Bay. Okay, we're in the same country. We know that much. Woohoo, we got that right. But listen, all the very best for everything at Aesthetics. And if you can tell one life quote, because I love your life quotes in your socials. They're just so gorgeous. That Oprah one was incredible as well. Yeah.
She's such a, like, I don't know, I feel like she is full of knowledge. She's a very intelligent woman. And I love everything to do with Oprah, and I learned so much from her. So I'm just like, people don't realize, and I think between Oprah and Maya Angelou, they're my biggest inspirations because they are strong Black women who have had to overcome a lot of problems from, like, having to grow up in a world where Black people sat at the back and everything, and they had to fight hard to get to where they wanted to be. And sorry, I'm not being rude. I just got a text about my kids.
Yes.
So I was just like looking at it. I'm going, no, it's a good one. It's a good text. I had asked my son's teacher what time his solo is, because he's got a solo as well tomorrow.
Okay.
But my brother is taking him and he goes, Mom, it's okay. I know you've got to go and do your thing, but I'll make sure Uncle takes a video of me and sends it to you.
Oh, bless. How gorgeous.
Confirm the times. But yeah, I was saying they're strong women that inspire me, and they were trailblazers. left their mark. You know, my Angela did. AHPRA's still there. But they have they make people of color like myself proud and say, you know, if they could do it, I know I'm in a different generation, I can do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
do you have one thing that you could say in terms of one of your favorite quotes that you could say?
One of the quotes I liked was Maya Angelou's quote where she says, if you don't like something, change it.
Yeah,
I can't
nice.
remember how it ends,
Yeah.
but half the time we sit there complaining, I don't like this, I don't like this. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
What are you going to change it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things that make me go, okay, if I don't like it, let me change it. Or if I don't like this, let me change it.
Absolutely.
So it's with everything. If you don't like your job, you're waking up miserable and going to work, change it. Do something you love. I always loved fashion, always loved anything to do with aesthetics. I never knew I would love injectables so much. And every single day, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize how much I love this job. I love it because it makes people happy. It makes me happy. So I changed what I was doing, but it's the same as I changed my circumstances as well. When my relationship wasn't working out, I didn't just stay. I changed it. I left.
Yeah.
So if you don't like anything, change it.
Change it.
That is
Absolutely.
my favorite quote.
Beautiful. I love that. And I think that's a wonderful way to finish up today. So my darling, have an incredible time at your son's Stedford. Have an incredible time at Aesthetics 23. And you just show them how amazing you are for me, okay?
Thank you so much, Anita. I appreciate
All right, my
that.
gorgeous.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.